Hi, my name is Kelly Martnick, and I'm here today to talk to you about eating disorders and the internet. What I really want people to get out of this presentation is that, especially in the age of social media and our hyper interconnected world, we have to change the way that we talk about and present eating disorders in the media. Pro-eating disorder blogs are commonly called pro-ana or pro-mia for pro-anorexia or pro-bulimia. And they encourage destructive behaviors by painting this disease as something that is trendy or glamorous on Twitter and Tumblr. Traditionally, they have pictures of really, really super skinny women with bones jutting out and slogans like, "Don't eat," or "You're not thin enough," or "Starve yourself." So this here is a video, and it is a really good example of some of the themes that show up time and time again in these blogs. So this video will be like 2 minutes. It's like blah, 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 blah. This is my video. Wasn't that a great video? No, that was a horrible video. But this shows some of the traits of pro-anorexia sites that are very, very common. So one of those traits is shame. They tell you that if you weigh too much or you eat too much, you should feel guilty and you're not good enough. Perfection and success are also themes in these blogs. That you have to be perfect and anything else isn't good enough. Another theme is self-control. You should feel superior if you can restrict your calories to an unhealthy anorexic point. These things are harmful because they paint unhealthy calorie restriction or purging through extreme exercise or vomiting as a demonstration of superior self-control, when really these things are symptoms of a disease. So I picked this topic when I was at a 5-week residential journalism intensive over the summer at Northwestern. We had to write a 6-page trend story, and my trend was these blogs that promote eating disorders and when they appear to be promoting health. And I read something that said, if you have to write a research paper, pick something that makes your blood boil, because you'll be able to rant about it for 20 minutes and 20 pages. And that's how I decided to write my research paper on this topic. So my thesis when I was writing my research paper was, while the internet is a powerful tool, pro-anorexia and self-harm and suicide websites have used it to promote and encourage destructive behaviors. By looking at the impact and history of these sites, experts can not only halt this trend, but they can use the internet as a means of reaching young people at risk for self-harm, suicide, and eating disorders. The way I think the internet can be used as a means of helping people is by allowing experts to find people who are suffering but are otherwise hiding it and help them. I chose more in my presentation to focus on the eating disorder part, because the self-harm part is a lot harder to talk about, and I think I'm a little less qualified. And most of my research was focused on pro-ana and pro-mia blogs. So now we get into the history of these sites. And to give you a little background, they started in 2001, or that's not true, but in 2001, Yahoo was said to be hosting the most of these sites of any internet provider. So Yahoo took a bunch of them down, but they didn't get rid of all of them, and a lot of them still exist at this point. So they exist in these like little dark corners of the internet, and I don't really understand the internet enough to talk about that, but they exist in places that the internet providers couldn't traditionally find them. So they go on this way for 5 or 6 years, and in 2008, Twitter and Tumblr become really, really popular. And it's easier to make these sites and just tag things, and so you don't have to know where the sites are. You just have to search pro-ana or anorexia or thinspiration, and you can immediately see millions of these posts. And originally, they said there were like 500 of these sites, and this was the alarmist thing going on in 2008. Now there are like 200 million, they estimate, based on a couple of studies. There's also a really good study from this one woman, Scarlett something, And I need to look up the exact statistics for when I'm doing my presentation. But it talks about how even women without a history of eating disorders or self-harm look at these websites and they say, I could do that to lose weight, or I could see myself restricting calories to that point, and will restrict their calories by like 2,000 calories in the following week after viewing these websites. And those are women without eating disorders. These websites are designed for people who already are suffering and to keep them in the disorder that they have. So I said what I wanted you to get out of this presentation was how we can find possible solutions. Now, my biggest one is to change the way we talk about eating disorders. It's just like how in news they don't describe the gory details of a murder so that they don't encourage copycats. The way we should talk about eating disorders is not in specifics. It's not in the amount of calories that someone ate in a day or the weight that they weighed when they were at their worst, because those things give anorexics a concrete goal. It sounds kind of crazy, but if a girl hears that someone was only eating 200 calories a day, then she sees that as something that she should aim for. And that's how these blogs are used to keep people in this disease.
Yeah. One second.
Restricting calories shouldn't be looked at as a feat of superhuman self-control. And eating disorders shouldn't be painted as glamorous, because they're not.
She's going to be at the...
Another solution is to use these websites to find people who are suffering and are hiding it and to treat them. So for my community outreach, I'm planning on going to Pierce Elementary School and talking to young girls about body positivity. Obviously, it's a little bit lighter than my topic. You can't just start talking to fourth graders about eating disorders, but you can talk to them about loving themselves. I wanted to show them that self-loathing and picking yourself apart aren't trendy like these blogs make them seem, and you can't and hope that if they develop a disease like this, they're more prone to ask for help instead of turning to the internet to find other people with this disease to talk to. This is not nearly long enough. I want to talk more about the interviews that I had with Mary Sanders and Allison Darcy at Stanford School of Medicine in their eating disorder department. They talked to me a lot about balance, and that's another one of the solutions to this problem, is teaching balance and showing that health is not about a number on a scale. It's about a balanced diet or balanced working out. It's not about only eating 500 calories a day. And the biggest thing for me was the First Amendment. Can we just take down these blogs when they really are free speech, even though they're harmful to others? And Allison Darcy at Stanford School of Medicine said, I don't know if I'm quoting her exactly, but that it's an easy case for censorship because these blogs are promoting things that it is known they're promoting behaviors that end in death every single time if you don't stop and you don't get help. And that really spoke to me because I think that we don't want to take away anyone's free speech, but at the same time, if they're hurting people, other countries have laws that cover that. If you know that you're helping someone kill themselves, you can be prosecuted for that. And this is just another form of that. It's like telling someone that they shouldn't seek treatment for a terminal cancer or something like that. So I need to fit more of that into my presentation next time we do it. I need more of that study and more statistics, and I would like to thank you all for coming. If I can take any questions now. Thank you.